Okay, so we just briefly got started on here. The question was asked, what are some basic differences between these two? They are both, they're both hexoses, okay? But how can they be hexoses if they don't have the same shape? Because then you say this is a ketose sugar, which is correct, and this is an aldose sugar, which is correct. So then, which monosaccharide is this one where it's oriented as left, left, right, right? Is that mannose or galactose? It is mannose, okay? So we have mannose here, and then when we look at this one, it's left, right, right, so it's a ketose sugar, and probably a pretty important one, well, I could say they're all important, fructose. Okay, but one of the, I don't have that drawn correctly. Okay, there we go. And of course, then this would be alpha, alpha, because they're, or excuse me, beta and beta because they're both pointed up. And one of the things that we talk about, one of your vocab terms, I think, was this, anomeric carbon. Okay, this one's got it, this one's got it. And what that means then is it actually has an OH molecule, both of them do, which these can be reduced, okay? And they can also be oxidized, because how do we know that they are reduced? Well, from way long ago, these could go through this process, okay? And then we would have had this, and then this, and then this. Old news here. And then what's that called when this goes down here and breaks that double bond? Do we remember? Yeah, that's reduction. So therefore, we call these reducing sugars, which would be correct, okay? But it's where reduction can take place at that anomeric carbon. But on fructose, it's actually on number 2 here, okay? Because here's carbon 1, here's carbon 2. Carbon 1 is actually right here, so in aldose sugars, okay, that anomeric carbon is on number 1 here. Or on ketose sugars, it's actually on carbon number 2 because you have this CH2OH down there. So for our purposes, we say that all sugars are reducing sugars except for one, okay? That's because at that, you could say, where the anomeric carbon is, there is no OH molecule for that to go through oxidation and reduction. And that will become more evident, or let's say obvious maybe, should we do something like this now. No, that's not right. I was right the first time. Darn it. Okay, so without finishing this, which monosaccharide would that appear to you? Yeah, so that's glucose. So then what happens when we take a molecule like this and attach it and make a disaccharide here? Then this, of course, is coming down, okay? And again, this is just the opposite, where we would say usually it's the left one gets left behind. That's not the case here. We take all of this one off, and then remember this had an OH molecule. Maybe we should start with that, okay? And then this had an OH there. This happens just in the opposite fashion to where this is a little bit left. Usually we say the left one gets left behind, but no, all of this gets taken off of there. And then this, so then there's our dehydration. So then what type of bond do we have here? We have an alpha 1 and beta 2. This is no longer just glucose, it's no longer just fructose. You put the two together and what do we have? We've got sucrose. Okay? So this, of course, is sucrose. This is a non-reducing sugar because it doesn't have that there anymore. It doesn't have an OH here on these anomeric carbons. So sucrose, non-reducing sugar because of that concept right there. Okay. Hopefully we can make some sense out of that and say it's all old material. I didn't even hear you come up here.
It's right by your mouth.
I see that.
Just quiet.
That's sneaky.
Yep.
Either that or I was just... At what point did you set that on there? Was it when I was drawing this or drawing...
You're drawing one of them.
Jeez, that is quiet. Okay. Okay, well, very good. Very good. So other than that, I really don't think there's anything else to add. We've prepared you for about as much of this content as we can. Okay. What about them?
Need them.
You need them? Oh, that's just what you think. Okay, so this top one is saying in the movie Transformers, okay, Bumblebee was a yellow Camaro. But in the cartoon series, B is or was a blank. It's a different model of car. And then this bottom one, Jeff Bezos, this was in the news a couple years ago, he was not allowed to buy TikTok. I think he was interested, but this being a large company and then Amazon being a large company, that would be considered as a monopoly. But what was the first monopoly that was broke apart by Congress? They did this in the early 20th century, I believe. So the first monopoly, again, that Congress broke apart was what? And I think it's probably something that you know, you just don't know it. So hopefully this certainly makes sense, and then the X or dotted line there. So then that's all I have. Exams the next couple days, and away we go into proteins is next. We'll catch up to you next time.